Turn around real quick.
Welcome to parent time.
Welcome to parent time. Lucas is ready to go.
Yep, just gotta maybe find.
Dude, I'm sure you'll find a million marker caps.
Is it under the? Maybe it's under the turkey fryer.
You were stepping on my fart peeling? What the fuck? Dude.
I had to get up there to paint.
Hey guys, welcome to How Much We Take Care of Our Shit Hour.
I just had to get up there and check the garage.
I wonder if people still think I'm your brother right now. Or wait, and this is why we're gonna go get coffee, because nothing makes sense. I'll crash into my BMW, and then that's the end of the video. Lucas is wearing proper shoe gear. We were just talking about, oh god, don't do that. Lucas and I were just talking about how much appropriate gear we have for how cold it is outside.
What the fuck?
It's the Chaos Hour, dude. It's a Whitney video. Alright guys, welcome to the top 10 reasons why your motorcycle isn't a car. Dude,
you totally stole my my dad joke.
Dude, I know. I'm stealing his dad joke. Speaking of which, this is the father of my child and my future children. He agreed to do a video with me today because it's like a really nice, beautiful 45 degrees out and it's sunny and I'm ready to go. And I desperately need an oil change. Ugh. Anyway,
we've got our summer gear.
I will fix this. Just give me time. I can't believe I would just wear my regular winter jacket over this one.
You know what I was thinking when I was gearing up was like, I had that Aero Stitch suit for a while, and like that makes the most sense. I don't know why that's just not like what everybody wears, because you can keep on whatever, you can have fucking the Grinch pajama pants on underneath, and just.
Oh, no. We wouldn't be married if you owned a pair of Grinch pajama pants.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like you could just put the suit on and that's it. Why is that not like your standard gear?
Do you want to tell people the story of your Aero Stitch?
Yeah, well, I got that from Sonny at, I guess it's called Ride now. It used to be Woods
Fun Center.
Yeah, a sweet little Sonny, or Big Sonny, I guess. He's tall as shit. He sold us this BMW and was like, "Do you want a suit?" Paid like $200 for it.
Full of haunted farts. That was our first question, because he told you, he's like, I put 600,000 miles on the suit, and we're like, yeah, but how many farts are in there?
Dude, a lot. I could tell.
He was just that kind of guy.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. He just farts a lot.
Ooh, it's so warm out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it's a testament to our priorities, which is not.
Yeah, we could be getting a million things done around the house, but this feels more important.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, what's your riding experience? I always think it's a cool story and what you got into in your first bikes.
Yeah, it's pretty all over the place, I guess. I rode my friend's motorcycle like probably 12 years ago for the first time. I'd never been on one.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was an old vintage XS650, Yamaha XS.
A classic bike to modify heavily.
Yeah, it was just stock, you know, super. I think it was late 70s. I knew the concept. I knew the concept of you know, shifting and stuff, because I had always driven manual cars. So I just kind of sat for a second, and he told me like where all the gears were. I hopped on, went down the street, and I was like, shit, I need one of these. So I went down the Craigslist rabbit hole and found this piece of shit.
Classic first bike.
Yeah, it was a Frankenstein. It was like a bobber. XS650 on a Kawasaki frame. Yeah, it was
also known as a headache.
Yeah, it had like these weird like bullhorn exhaust pipes, headers as exhaust pipes, like super loud, and shocker, it never really ran. So I sold that and got a stock 76 CB360, and that's around the time I had met you. So I didn't get a lot of seat time, but it was definitely something I was interested in. I liked the hobby aspect of like working on something vintage. But as you know, we didn't really get to ride a whole lot because shit's always breaking and you can't really get parts and nobody works on it, so you just kind of have to go it on your own.
So many things I want to say. Remember that cool, so I had a 1965 Honda CB160, and you remember that sick dude outside of Baltimore who had an entire lock and key warehouse full of OEM Honda parts?
Yeah, I don't remember
Dude,
what we got.
that guy was so sick. I wish I had his number.
But yeah, that was like one of the only places that you could get parts from, and yeah, he had a beautiful fleet of vintage Hondas, and that was inspiring to keep going. We rebuilt your motor on the coffee table.
Yeah, destroyed the coffee table.
There's definitely dog hair in the cylinders.
Oh God. You're like, this is a perfect environment to try to seal gaskets.
Yeah, but the CB360 I had pretty much the whole time we lived in Baltimore, and that was like my commuter, which was awesome. I survived
yes,
getting hit by a car, which was kind of crazy.
What was the damage to the CB afterwards?
Just a broken shifter peg, bent handlebars. I think that's really it. The tank survived. Everything like survived pretty nicely from being hit like from the side.
Yeah.
And I was on my way to the ER to work, and I ended up working my shift.
And your hand was all fucked up.
Yeah, I just washed out my wounds and went on about my day.
Typical ER nurse things, you know?
I remember riding it home in the rain one time, and like something was shorting out and like kept shocking my butt because it was raining. And I was like, God damn it, I just hope I make it home.
Did you like how it felt?
The shocks?
Yeah.
No.
So it wasn't a pleasant sort of pain, it was a painy kind of pain.
Yeah. But it had so much character. I liked kind of the way I went with it and the mods I picked for it. Definitely regret selling that.
I 100%. I'm like, why the fuck would we, either of us, sell our vintage CBs is beyond me. We were young and dumb, I guess.
Well, yeah, and we were moving all around, and I remember loading them up in the fucking U-Hauls and
box truck.
Yeah, we barely had enough room for our own stuff in there, so but it had to happen. But I mean, I paid $700 for that thing, and it was.
Dude, isn't it crazy to think about how much I spent? $1,200 on that 1965 Honda, and then I put $1,000 into it, and then I sold it for $500.
Yeah, I mean, they're immaculate when you're in that stage of your life where you're like just trying to
wheel
survive.
And deal.
And, well, yeah, and like you have priorities, and you're moving, and can't really justify having the space for it. It's like now we have a garage. We could easily fit like 3 or 4 more motorcycles in. Have a little bit more time to tinker around on it. But they're gone, and I hope that.
But they're gone. No, actually, I'm thinking about buying my CB back because I know who bought it, and he's like this old school Ducati guru, and he had 1 million vintage Ducatis in his garage that were all in various states of decay. But he loved my CB. He wouldn't even talk to me. He'd just come out and stare at the bike, and he'd look at it, and then he'd hop on it and he'd ride away. And he wouldn't even say anything when he got back. So he desperately wanted to buy it for me, but he knew how much it was worth.
Yeah, that's the opposite. I felt like with my experience selling the CB, because like you put so much effort into it and like have a vision for how you want it to look. And I mean, I didn't really do any frame modifications, but it looked cool. And then people come by and look at it and they lowball you, and like they don't give a shit what you did to your bike. They're just like, they just want the best deal. Most of them want just understandably so, want an untouched, unmodded bike. But you're like, yeah, I guess I'll take whatever $1,000 for it, because no one else wants to buy it and I need to get rid of it. So that was a bummer.
And you were a car guy. You still are a car guy. Cars are your jam. They're your number one jam.
Yep.
Which is cool because like I sort of liked cars, but I love motorcycles and they're my passion. And for you, it's vice versa. Like you're interested in them, but cars are your passion.
Yeah, I've owned 13 cars.
What's your favorite car that you've owned?
The Mark II GTI with the 2-liter ABA swap.
And the dinosaur ceiling.
Yeah, the headliner. That was
dinosaur headliner.
A children's fleece dinosaur print, which was super tight. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's something about, you know, driving the driving feeling that can't really compare, at least to me, to riding a motorcycle. And I tried desperately to like transfer that passion when I sold my new GTI like 6 years ago when we got the XSR 900, and we just went balls out, like getting the exhaust,
full system,
and
yeah,
the mirrors, the levers, the seat, like just doing whatever we could to scratch that mod itch. But
it doesn't take any time on it. It's like it's rewarding if bikes are your passion, but if you're like a car modding enthusiast, you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's how I felt. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I've accepted that cars are going to be, you know, my vehicular passion forever, and I'm excited to get to a point where we can get another project going.
Yeah, like tomorrow.
Yeah. I'd like to stick with the Volkswagen platform.
Oh, a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sick. I've always wanted what's the rabbit truck?
The rabbit truck.
Okay, is this called the rabbit truck? But I've always wanted one of those. I've never seen one.
They're getting harder to find.
Yeah, as each minute passes on, they're getting harder to find.
All right, let's pick this up after
we butt chug some really hot coffee.
Yeah.
So we just stopped our GoPros, but look at how sick this is. Fuck yeah! Tight. New tires too.
Where do we leave off?
I don't remember.
We're talking about our next car project.
Yeah. What's your favorite bike out of all the bikes that you or I have owned?
I like the Smart Peeling. Wait. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I remembered taking our vintage bikes into account, but I don't think those really compare.
Oh, God, no. Not in terms of riding experience.
I'd say Smart Peeling's at the top. XSR 900, rest in peace after that. And then the BMW, but not, I feel like I kind of like that better than the XSR 900 on some days. So maybe they're tied. And then the Ducati Scrambler is dead last. Dead ass
last. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Not that it's I wonder if it had the same fate as a Smart Peeling. Remember before we put the full system and the tuning and the fuel dongle, it was not as happy, and it was kind of a bummer to ride a little bit. You're like, man, this thing's really stuffed up. And then riding it after doing all those mods was like, holy shit, this is what it wants to do.
Yeah,
I mean, I wonder that about the Scrambler.
Maybe, but to me, it's like that whole thing is just an abomination.
Okay, I didn't know you felt that strongly about it.
Yeah, it's like, I think it was designed just to like sell in a catalog. Like the profile picture of it is like, oh man, that looks cool. But then up close, you're like, okay, the seat is weird. You know, it's like this lobate oval.
Dude, what was that? The clutch cable that was just drive me insane. That goes around like the dash. It sticks out. Yeah, 3 inches.
That's what I was about to get into, like with the rest of the design, like the offset gauge thing, gauge cluster, the handlebars bent, like they were so, felt so cheaply made.
Let me tell that story real quick. I was pulling a Yui when we were out on a ride. There was just like crap on the street, bunch of dead leaves. I smush it, I tip it over, I go down with it. It didn't suffer a lot of damage, but the handlebars were like totally whacked, and it wasn't a hard drop. It was like a slow squish, and they just were totally fucked. And I was like, dude, I've dropped bikes, and no handlebars have ever just absolutely been totally ruined.
Yeah, it was like a huffy bicycle could take more of a beating than that. And then yeah, like the weird routing of the cables seemed like an afterthought, and it just felt like kind of junky, you know. And I don't know, obviously Ducati is a prestigious brand, so to have something that's just kind of like thrown together and slapped a Ducati sticker on it seemed like a ripoff, and kind of like we were duped, you know.
Yeah, they spent most of their effort on the aesthetics and marketing it, rather than like, oh, this is a prestigious, high quality motorcycle.
Right, with the BMW, the R9T, you get that. You're like, this is sturdy. It's a tried and true motor. You know, it's a beefcake, and so you really feel like you're getting what you pay for.
Do you ever miss the XSR?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that thing ripped, especially after the mods we did to it. I loved how smooth it was after the Power Commander. Or what was it called again? Rapid Bike, that's right, same thing. And yeah, I mean, that thing just ripped. But I feel like we, or at least I, like really got the most out of that. You know, like it wore off after a while, and you're like, okay, this doesn't really excite me. You know, you're used to the power on it, and kind of left wanting a little bit more. Whereas, you know, like riding the BMW or the Spark peeling around, you get this visceral connection that doesn't really fade. It's kind of always there, and it doesn't really matter how fast you go.
And I don't think people are used to motorcycle owners like us. I mean, would you say it's kind of like a car guy attitude, where you're just like swapping? Like, you're like, okay, I had my fun, I want to get something else.
Yeah, 100%. That's like, you kind of complete the project, and then you're ready for something new. Most
motorcycle riders, I don't think, do that. They go, why would you ever sell that? Why would you ever swap that? I kept mine forever. And like, yeah, I'm Captain Great Credit Score, but I can't financially hold on to every bike, and I like to try new ones.
It's kind of funny, considering how much of like a collector, you know, like I guess I am, you know, I want all of this stuff when I'm into something. But yeah, when it comes to automobiles and motorcycles, it's just like, you know, unless they're serving a specific purpose, it's kind of feels redundant to have a lot.
But we're also deeply non-attached. Like, you can't be attached to your bikes or emotionally attached to your bikes and rent them out on rental platforms.
Right. I think that probably could be attributed to how much acid we've done.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, whatever. It's just a bike. It's just a car. But I definitely didn't used to feel like that. Like with my first STI, my first Super STI, that was like my baby, you know.
Yes.
But you know, I sold it. I got a SRT8 Jeep. And then I forgot
Dude,
about it.
I am so bummed. I never got to ride in your SRT8 Jeep.
Yeah, I think I had just got that like right before we met, and I was motivated to sell it because I wanted to, you know, get an apartment in Baltimore with you, and couldn't afford both, so it had to go. But
dude,
that
how much was your payment on it?
At the time, like $400 or $500 a month, which was, you know, 10 years ago. It was like a 2007, I believe, SRT8.
Yeah, but did it rip like fucking tits?
Yeah, I outran the police on the highway coming back from work one time. Just
nice. How fast were you going?
I don't have no idea, but I mean, just sheer power. Like, you just step on the gas, and you're like, they're never gonna remotely catch up to me.
How much horsepower does it have?
Over, like, I think between 400 and 500 horsepower.
Jesus Christ.
And
we need one.
it's naturally it's a naturally aspirated motor too, so there's no turbo lag or anything. It's just pure power as soon as you hit the gas. 8 cylinders.
4 miles to the gallon.
Oh, 10 maybe? If you're really getting it, I mean, I would watch the gas gauge drop, like, as I was driving, if you're really kind of going on a spirited drive, which I did.
All the time, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Another detractor, I had to get new tires, and, like, there's no spare tire on those, I guess. I don't know why, but so they had run flat tires, which are significantly more expensive than a traditional tire, because you can ride on them when they go flat. So if you get a puncture, you can just kind of keep going until you can get it repaired.
Right.
Because they have like crazy sidewalls. But those, I can't remember. I feel like they were like $400 a tire or more. And I was, 22 or 23, and I was like, no, I can't be doing this. So.
You're like, that's old dad who's an engineer money.
Yeah.
That's not young 20-year-old money.
Yeah, new grad ER nurse money, no. So, but yeah, that car was amazing. Definitely would make a good family car, or the Trackhawk, I guess now would be the go-to.
Dude, that's my car. I've always owned Jeeps before you and I were together. I've had many Jeeps. I like them because they're pretty fucking reliable. They're super easy to fix, easy to get parts on, relatively cheap parts. The engine in my, God, I don't even remember what it was.
90-something?
96 Jeep Grand Cherokee Eddie Bauer edition, or LL Bean or some shit. Dude, that thing was so fucking sick.
The JCPenney edition?
The JCPenney Nordstrom fucking TGI Fridays edition. I sold it with like 290,000 miles and it was still going.
Yeah.
I think it was a straight 6.
Yep. It had the Ninja Turtle interior.
Yes, it had a tan interior with like a red pinstripe. Maybe I'll try to find it and put it on the screen.
And green centers.
Deep green.
Yeah.
I loved that Jeep. I loved owning a car that you did not care about.
Yeah, that was a totally foreign concept to me, but I appreciate it. Like having the spare truck now, but even that, I'm like, I want to make this nice.
I know. I'm always like, dude, it's chill. Just leave it alone.
No, I'm like, let's get some nice tires on it, and I don't know, clean it up a little bit.
Mama wants a track bike.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. But yeah, I always cared so much, like maybe too much about my cars, that when I saw you just being like, yeah, I spent $2,000 on this Jeep, fuck it, like I'll drive it into the ground. I was like, how does that work? How do you not care, or but
Dude, I inherited that from my father.
Yeah.
But he was also a meth addict, so
we came from different backgrounds.
We came from extremely different backgrounds. I had punk rocker, anarchist, drug addict, alcoholic parents, and you have extremely responsible sweeties who I've absorbed much parental energy from.
Yeah, that met in church choir when they were 17.
Oh my God, in New York?
Yeah, in New York. Singing in church.
In a church.
We're singing here.
Hey, get out of my way, we're singing here. We're falling in love.
Shout out Pam and Andy.
Shout out Pam and fucking Andy. Great grandparents to our daughter. That's for sure. Mine are like potato chips left out in the sun. One's in the ground,
But that's kind of cool that Ruby gets to experience
something.
Just like the whole spectrum, like this. Yeah. Like your mom to her is this weird disembodied, like floating head on a screen.
Yep.
It's like sci-fi in a way.
Can't tell if those people are actually fighting or play fighting.
They're play fighting.
Okay, good.
All right. Well.
All right, Lucas, do you want to never ever do this ever again?
No, I do.
Okay, good.
All right.
Oh, you guys, dear audience, if you've made it this far, Lucas had a good idea. He was like, what if we just got on bikes and talked about true crime?
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Oh, we could talk about psychedelic drugs, true crime, the paranormal, whatever you want, you know? Let us know.
We'll think of something. I just stalled the.
You just what?
I stalled it. I thought
okay.
I thought it was a neutral.
I think the tire's doing great. Still looks like
Right.
it's got air.
Well, until the next one, I guess.
Until the next one he gets it.